topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Hello. This is Shelby Wagner, host of your show, Learning to Dance in the Rain. Sorry for the delay, but my speaker wasn't working. Okay, I want to do a little bit of a recap of last week. I had read the story of the Magi's gift, and after the show, I had call or a message from a acquaintance who wanted to know why I had gotten emotional at the end of the reading. The reading, of course, was about a couple who had given away their or had sold their most valuable possession to buy a Christmas gift for the other. And it just so happened that there were some complications in that. But he wanted to know why I was emotional. And I wrote back to him and I said, I believe this story is an example of true love because each wanted to give something special to their loved one so badly. They wanted it so badly that they sold the item that was other most value or second most valuable to them. And to me, that was a supreme sacrifice, and it just melted my heart. So I said, well, we're going to talk about love next week. And here we are with a conversation about love. And I have a guest. My guest is my pastor, Carl Litchfield, pastor of the Menden Church in Michigan, and also the Baroque Methodist Church. So I'm going to introduce him. He has been at active ministry for 41 years. He has always served smaller churches in towns and rural settings. His father was a pastor, and so were his oldest brother, his twin brother, and his wife, Pastor Jerry. Wow, family of 4 pastors. Serving God has always been a priority in the family. Along with caring for his congregants, Pastor Carl has served on 8 short-time missions to Bangladesh and Nepal, teaching significant books of the Bible to impoverished pastors and seminary students. He and his wife, Jerry, have been blessed with 3 children, 4 grandchildren, and 2 great children. Pastor Carl continues in retirement serving these 2 small churches in Menden and Burr Oak, Michigan. And I think he's the best pastor speaker that I have ever heard. Welcome to my show, Carl. And thank you for agreeing to be a guest.
He's not here right now.
All right, maybe the delay delayed him so much that he isn't available. Should I call him or continue my mother's?
Yeah, we should probably call him.
All right, let
and
me
see.
do that. What is love? Anybody out there like to comment on what you think love is? You can call the station's number and we'll identify you. The number is 561-623-9429. Hey Siri.
Hi, Shelby. He's here.
Oh, he's here? Oh, praise God. Thank you.
Hi, Shelby. He's here.
Do you have
Pastor, go ahead. Remember to turn off your radio.
turn off what?
Not you. Pastor, turn off the radio.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, hello. Hello,
All right.
Carl.
Let me see if I can figure out. I gotta.
Can you tell this is the first time that I've had a guest? And the first time for Carl, I think.
Can you? Let's see. All right. Let's see here. All right.
Hello, Carl.
Hi.
Welcome to my show.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
All right. Very good.
Can you hear me?
Very good. Very good. Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Okay. I read your introduction already. And
I heard that. I was still trying to connect. I didn't know how to do that.
Yes. Well, I had
to get connected into the program.
Yeah. You're welcome. I had difficulty too. My microphone stopped working just before the show.
Oh no.
So
okay.
Pastor, you've been 41 years as pastoring your family of 4 pastoring, and you spent 8 years in it teaching other pastors in Bangladesh and Nepal, I believe. So tell us
it was 8 years.
Anything else that you would like to say?
Traveled. Well, it was 8 years in a row that we went over for these 2-week mission trips, and I was assigned to be teaching different books of the Bible. And my favorites to teach were Mark and Romans. I just felt like they were the heart of the gospel message. And if you want to talk about something important to get important information across, those were the 2 most important books for me to be able to teach when I was overseas. So it was a privilege. It was a privilege to do that.
I've heard that Bangladesh is a very beautiful country. I have
It is in many ways. It is in many ways. It is. It's really the entire nation is really the delta for the Ganges River, and it's quite water covered, very, very flat, and it's perfect for cultivating rice. So when you're traveling across the country, you're going to be crossing many, many bridges and that sort of thing. And as far as the eye can see, you see all these rice paddies that just stretch, right out to the horizon. It's just a tremendous country to be in. And it's a very impoverished country, and there's certain places when you have to cross the Ganges, there are no bridges. And so you have to take your vehicle, you have to cross by way of these enormous ferries to get across the Ganges River. And sometimes you may have to wait for a day or two before you can even get in line to board a ferry. So the transportation there is very, very difficult.
Uh-huh. Wow. Okay, well, we're going to talk about love. And I'd like to
Yes,
start
yes.
with a definition of love that I put in my book, if I may read it.
All right, please do. I'd like to hear that.
According to the dictionary.com website, love is a profoundly tender, passionate affection for another person, a feeling
All right.
of warm personal attachment or deep affection, as for a parent, child, or friend. It also
All
says
right.
sexual passion or desire, and having a gentle feeling of fondness or liking for another person. I
Right.
find that, well, I'm going to ask you, what do
All
you
right.
think of that definition?
Well, I think that covers a lot of territory, and in general, it is it's accurate and that sort of thing.
What
I think though, even though
excuse me.
it's easy to it's for the to have a definition written down in real life, it's sometimes more difficult to figure out, is this really love? Am I really in love, or is my this friend that is becoming more than just a friend? Is this person that I'm attracted to? Does this person have genuine love for me? I think there's the mystery, trying to figure out, is this for real in my life right now? Did you agree?
Oh, yes. Yes. Very good. I think that the word is rather complicated in English because we only have one word, love.
That's a good
I
point.
love,
You have a good point.
I love you. I love ice cream. I love to dance. I love movies. And I love my children. And I loved my husband. So
All right.
help. How do we know when somebody's talking about love, which one they're talking about?
Exactly. English is, as far as expressing love, we have one word and it covers a lot of bases. So it's hard to tell. In what way do you really mean, I love peanut butter?
I found in researching for my book that the Greeks had it down pretty good. I think they had 7
Yes.
or 9 words, one for each type
Wow.
of love.
Wow. I did
I
not
have
realize
those in
there were
my
that
book.
many. Oh, for
1,
goodness
2,
sakes.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 9. About 9 different words.
Wow.
I had problems after my husband died, of course, 7 years ago.
Right.
And
Right.
after my
Uh-huh.
grieving, I decided
Mhm.
it was more fun with 2 than it was being single. So I went on the
All right.
internet dating site. And of course, there's quite a few things that came up there. And one of them was the fact that some of those guys, oh, I love you, about the second day that we were talking. So I want to talk about that a little bit.
Right. Right.
I
Right.
also had a man that I dated with, who told me, I love you, but I'm not in love with you.
Huh.
So that gives us a couple things here to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. Just Thursday, I spent the day in the car. I took my friend over to Chicago Airport, and on the way back, I was listening to oldies. And there's a song that I was very familiar with, and it kind of makes me chuckle. because he's talking about his attraction to this woman, and he's talking about a failed relationship he had with another woman. And at different times, both that other woman said this to him, and he said it to the woman he was with. He says, "I want you, I need you, but there ain't no way I'm going to love you." And of course, the title of the song is 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Well, I would beg to differ.
That,
Yeah, but there's a lot of want and a lot of need. But how do you tell if somebody is really in love with you? I mean, what are the positive signs that really are convincing to someone who's exploring a new relationship? Does this person really love me? What would you say are signs of genuine love in a growing relationship?
that's what I was going to ask you.
No, you're asking me, and I just asked you. Well, I think maybe we can share some of our life wisdom together. One, you share a bit, I share a bit.
Okay.
I think a genuine love. Well, I opened up 1 Corinthians 13, and here is the definition that Paul gave. Love is about what good love is all about. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not boast. It is not proud. Love does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. Love is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. Love always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. So that's the biblical definition. Of course, when we begin as young people, we're in it for ourselves, more or less. We know what we're after, we know what we want, and that sort of thing. And sometimes it's hard for us to see as we pursue what we desire more than anything else. It's hard to see that we are missing the point in how are we blessing the person we're with. We're pursuing, we want to be loved, but are we doing these kindnesses and these gentle actions and these small steps that are saying to this our new partner in this relationship, you are important to me. I have the things that I need, but I want to be sure that your needs are met as well. So I think there's
I'm sorry.
Sort of a lack of, to put it negatively, there's a lack of selfishness. To put it negatively, I think there's a lack of selfishness.
I had a phone call and it's cut him off. Is he on my phone?
I'm still here. I can hear you.
Shelby, he's still here.
Hello?
Hi, Shelby, he's still here.
Hello?
Can you hear me, Shelby?
Oh, shoot.
I can hear you, but Shelby can't.
Hello?
Shelby? Yeah, Shelby, we're here.
I don't know if Shelby can hear you.
Her hearing aid might have went out.
Uh-oh.
Keep talking, and I'll try to get in touch with her.
Okay. Well, I
I'm
think
sorry. If I'm still on, I had a phone.
I think maybe Shelby had a phone call come in and it's interrupted us. I'll just say a little bit more. First of all, I think we really, a sign of genuine love is we're putting the other person first. We are choosing to honor them and have consideration for their feelings and for their choices more than
So how do again?
More than we're having for our own. Shelby, are we connected again? And then actually there was a passage in Ephesians I looked up last night. I need to find that, Ephesians chapter 5, that talks about putting others first. let me find that. I did not mark the passage, so I'm getting to it. Here we go. And Ephesians chapter 5, there are 3 verses that speak of this giving to one another and putting our loved one at a higher priority. And the first verse is Ephesians chapter 5, verse 21. And it sounds like this: submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. And then verse 22, unfortunately, verse 22 is the one that gets preached most often. And it gets the preacher and the couple in love, I think, into more hot water than anything else. But verse 22 says, wives, submit yourselves to your own husbands as you do to the Lord. And in contrast to that, you go to verse 25 and you see the husbands are asked to offer love in a sacrificial way as well. Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. So that mutual submission, the willingness to put the other partner first, that is the highest consideration. That is the highest consideration, more than what is it that I want, or what is it that I have to have, or what is it that I demand of you, which I think are all unloving actions. But what can I do for you? How can I be a blessing for you? What is your choice today? And can we put that into action? If we're trying to make a decision, we're listening to one another and honestly trying to discern which is the better path to go, which opinion would be the better decision for us as a couple. So I think there's quite a bit of possibility there, and I think that is also defining a mature relationship, a mature loving relationship. Okay.
That is
Shelby,
so
are
true.
we back?
She's trying to get the way to hear you. I can hear you, and the
Can you
show
hear
is
me
still
now?
going on. Yes, Shelby, we can hear you.
Can you hear me, Shelby? No, I guess not.
Shelby, can you hear us?
Can you hear me now?
We hear you.
Can you hear me now?
So, Pastor, can you tell us a little
Yes.
bit more about your feelings about the topic of love?
Sure. Yeah, I was just speaking about these passages from 1 Corinthians and from Ephesians about putting others first, our loved one first. And so I think that that's a sign of healthy love. I find it interesting, and I'm so happy that Shelby is endeavoring to do this this podcast with you, because she has, through difficult experience, she's learned a lot about love. And I think it's a wonderful thing that she's sharing that publicly. I think there's a lot of courage on her part. But she asked me to submit some questions about loving relationships. And to put it positively, the one question I had was, what are some of the signs of mature love? How can you tell that this partner that you're developing a relationship with is loving you in a genuine way? So these signs of putting others first and that sort of thing, I think that is significant. I think that's significant in itself. And the opposite side of that coin is, how can you tell if someone claims to have love for you, but is really not giving you loving actions? In fact, the things that they're saying and doing are actually, over the long haul, it begins to emerge. We begin to realize that what they're asking of us is really not good and healthy for us as individuals, or for the two people that are exploring this loving relationship. It's not healthy for either one, because one of them is more demanding, one of them is more assertive. One of them is more aggressive. One of them has strong opinions, and one of them is less likely to listen, or more likely to interrupt, more likely to hush, to tell their partner to shut up. I'm thinking now, and I'm making the decisions for us, and that sort of thing. Someone that is coming on not with gentleness, but with aggressive power. And of course, they're not going to come into the relationship right away and reveal their hand in this. It's not going to happen like right off the bat, because as soon as somebody comes in a relationship and begins right off the bat to be a bully, well, anybody in their right mind is going to walk away from that. They're not going to get a second chance. They're not going to get a call back or anything. So they tend to disguise this behavior, and at first, and they tend to make a real show of romance and expressions of romantic love and that sort of thing. And they try to kind of hold back their true feelings or their usual way of operating, and try to lull this person into believing that the one who's kind of in all reality, that bully, they're coming across as gentle and soft and nice and kind and expressing love and doing all the right things. But as over time, what gets revealed is that underneath of it all, they had hidden some very terrible kinds of ways of operating within the ways they usually operate within relationships. And they come across more concern for power, more concern for control, less concern for the feelings or the reaction or the hurt or harm they might be causing their partner. Those are things to be watching out for. And the problem is you have to kind of begin the relationship with caution and that sort of thing, but to kind of keep sensitive to is this relationship continuing to develop in mutual ways, in loving ways, in gentle ways, in careful ways, in ways that each one is honored, each one is lifted up, each one is considered, or over time is the relationship being warped? Is it being twisted? Is it being changed into something that was the one partner never wanted at all, but the other partner is coming in with force to change it all over into the kind of relationship where they have the advantage, they have the control. You know, I said to my wife a long time ago, Jerry and I have been married for 48 years, and we were at a movie theater. We got in there early, and we were sitting. It was a huge movie theater, and there were multiple screens and that sort of thing. And the lobby was almost an acre. I mean, it was just and there must have been 100 people walking in and out of it. So we were sitting on the sidelines waiting for our movie theater to open up. And we're people watching. I'm watching the couples come and go and that sort of thing. And I said something that had been a kind of a pet thought of mine. And I says, you women have it terrible that, and we men, we have it better because we men, we get to love the women who are beautiful, and you women, you're stuck with us guys and we're ugly, and I don't know what you see in us guys and that sort of thing. And she set me straight. She says, we are looking for someone who will be reliable. We are looking for someone that we can trust. We're looking for someone. We're looking down the long view here. We're looking ahead over a decade or more. We're looking to try to discern, will this man be a faithful husband to me? would this man be a faithful provider for a family? Would this man be a firm but gentle father to any children we might receive? They're trying to read the future by judging the quality of the relationship now. And I think the ladies have a more difficult situation. You're trying to discern how this guy's mind actually works and to predict the future. I think, ladies, you have the tougher side of it. And basically, especially when we're younger, us guys, we're just looking for, well, who's hot? Well, I date her. Yeah. I hope she'll give me a phone number and that sort of thing. And we're happy if she says yes. And the problem solved. We got somebody who said yes to us. We'll go out. Well, now I got a date. Now that makes me happy. Ladies, you've got the harder part. You've got to figure out us guys well in advance. And you're looking for love and something that will last for decades. And you're trying to understand what this person's personality is just based on the first few hints of what happens when we're in a dating relationship. Well, here's my opinion about dating relationships. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. I'm trying to convince you that I really am a good guy. I'm trying to convince you that I really am a good catch and that sort of thing. And, after we get married, then, we find out that there's a lot of these guys are kind of basically barely tamed animals and that sort of thing. We just, grunt and moan and groan, and we make noises, and we can be unruly, and we can make messes and that sort of thing. But we hid that pretty well from you ladies while we were dating. So engagement, that period of it, now we're getting serious, is a time to really have those conversations. What kind of a family do you want to have? What kind of life should we share together? And as long as, those answers are coming through genuinely, you have to have those conversations. You have to have those moments of encounter. You have to really begin to discover, is this guy just trying to pull the wool over my eyes, or is he genuinely nice? Because everybody wants to be nice when they're dating. But are we telling the truth? Are we really revealing who we really are? And so, ladies, you've got the harder part. And of course, it was only later on that we find out that, ladies, you also have that hidden side that we weren't aware of. And it only comes to light when we're spending huge portions of every day of our lives together, as we share home, as we share family, as we share responsibilities. We begin to find out that sometimes, ladies, you can be a handful too. I mean, it can be difficult to accept your personality quirks as well. So it really is a two-way street. But it's all an exploration. We're trying to figure out, is this the person I really choose to love? Is this the person I want to be with forever and ever? So it really is this seeking love. It really is something that it takes a lot of conversation, a lot of observation. It takes a lot of time to really sort out. And in the different times along the way, we have these times of reevaluation. We've heard of the 7-year itch, where we hear, how marriages can get to be kind of humdrum and ho-hum and that sort of thing. And maybe one or another wants to go back to the excitement of the dating world or something like that. And those are the times. I can remember the time that it hit me about this permanent relationship with my wife. And it really was around the 7th or 8th year, because there were certain things that about my wife's personality interactions that really did bug me and that sort of thing. And, we were trying to recreate one another. If only you would do this, then I'd love you more. If you only would be this way, then it'd be easier to accept you and that sort of thing. And I remember as we were getting, it was a Saturday morning, we're getting up and getting around and taking care of the kids. And this realization just dawned on me that this is the woman that I said I was going to love for all of my life. And I can't change her. And she gets mad if I try. I learned that the hard way too. But that was the time that in that moment, I accepted her for who she is. And she's still the same, we've been married another 40 years since then. She's still the same, but she is the woman that I said that I would love forever. And you know what? I still love her forever. So somewhere along the line, you have to realize this is the person I chose. And are you really going to continue to say yes to her? Are you really going to continue to say yes to your husband, to that man in your life, or whomever it might be, that woman that is so important to you? And that is the daily discipline of love, where you wake up in the morning and you continue to say, I choose you. I have chosen you. Today I choose you. I choose to love you. I choose to take care of you. I choose to help you. I choose to be best for you. I choose to put you first. And I think all of those things are those signs of genuine love. But to get to that point, that's a years long adventure. That is a decades long encounter to finally come to a mature love like that. So there's a lot of variables in there, and there's a lot of ups and downs. There's times that you really, really get mad. Someone had said this to me, I had quoted it to just a couple weeks ago about my marriage with my wife Jerry, and someone said that they had heard it in an interview with Billy Graham's wife. Now, what was her name? I'm blocking on it. And somebody had asked her about the quality of their marriage and that sort of thing. And the blunt question was, with Billy Graham traveling all around the world and his wife staying home so often and so many long separations and that sort of thing. The question the interviewer asked her was, have you ever thought of divorce? And her answer was, we have never once said the word divorce. We have never once thought divorce in all of our years together. Murder, yes, but not divorce. So sometimes it can be kind of a challenge, and some of our old habits, they probably are still annoying all along the way. I've often said, pray for my wife, because I don't have any new material. I like to tell a joke. I have to share a laugh. I have a weird sense of humor. Pray for my wife, because she's been putting up with this for all these years, and I got nothing new. I have no new material at all, and she's heard it all, and she continues to suffer. She's the long-suffering wife of Job, I guess. I don't know, but anyway, that also is a sign that she has chosen, for better or worse, to keep this guy around anyway. And just between you, me, and the fence post, I'm glad she did. I'm glad she has. I'm glad we're still at it.
I'm glad to. I saw that same. I think that's one of the facts they have in the Billy Graham Museum down in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh,
And I had read it there, and I thought, boy, I could relate to that. My
Shelby,
husband.
what can you remember his wife's name? I can't remember.
I
her
was
name.
trying to remember when you said, but yeah, I didn't. But they have quite a
Oh.
museum of Billy Graham's life and her life together, and
Uh-huh.
I thought that was very interesting. I was married 50 years, and my husband, the last
Oh,
couple of
wow.
years, he liked to brag to people that I had divorced him about 5 times in that 50 years. And we're still together, and I thought, oh, gee, you have to tell that. But yeah, I could relate to that part.
Oh, man.
I'm thought while you were talking about a
Yes.
thing about that Eric Fromm said that here in the States we tend to think too much about what does that love give me? How am I receiving love?
Oh,
And he said what we should be
okay.
doing is standing in love. And what he meant by that is,
That's
what are
interesting.
you giving? You should be thinking about the love you are giving to your loved person instead of what you're receiving. And I thought
Right.
that's an interesting way to think about it. Really good.
I think, yeah, I recognize his name. I know that when I was studying social work, his teachings were things that we were reading and following quite closely back in
Mhm,
the 70s.
mhm.
Uh, so as soon as you said his name, I've got total respect for his what I learned from him, though I can't quote chapter and verse at all anymore.
Uh-huh.
But you mentioned Eric Fromm. I'm saying that you've got a great resource there,
Yeah,
and I would trust anything that he's saying and that he's teaching.
yeah.
So yeah, yeah,
I
and I
quoted,
think he's right. I believe he's
pragma.
right.
Yeah, in, Greek, the Greek love called pragma is long-standing love, mature,
Oh,
realistic love that develops between 2 people over time. And that's one thing I really
oh,
wanted to mention is that and you receive a letter from internet dating or on chat or you're texting with them on the dating site, and they tell you, "Oh,
right.
golly," within a day or 2, "Oh, I'm so in love with you," blah, blah, blah. That is a good indication that you're talking to a scammer. I mean, there's no way
Yeah,
he can love you that much in 5 hours or
that
10 hours. I mean, it takes a
yeah,
long.
I agree
And
with you. You're right,
yeah.
Shelby.
And another thing that I wanted to say, and I use this myself in my relationship with one of my dates, one of my boyfriends, and it is if you really want to know if you're a match, there were 6 or 7 things that Steve Lawrence, I believe his name is, was a famous on TV, one of the game shows, and he wrote a book
Oh,
called "Think." Let's see, act like a lady, but think like a man. And there were about 6 or
really?
7 things that you should do with that person during that courtship time. One of them is to take a car trip, a road trip together. If that relationship can last through a week or 2 on the road, well, that's very good. And another one
Yeah,
is
right,
to
right.
play a child's game like pick up sticks or jacks or something like
Oh,
that. Play
huh.
a board game with them and see how they handle like in pickup sticks, wow. You got to
Right,
pick up that
right,
stick.
right.
I don't even know if you can buy that game anymore, but um, it's
Oh,
so easy
we
to
had a
knock
set
them
when
off.
we were little. I remember that game. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
There's
well,
another test that I'd heard from other older married couples. The true test of a marriage is to do a wallpaper project together.
yeah, that's another one.
If you're
Been
not
there,
at
done
one another's throats by the time you got that done, boy, golly, you got something.
that. Oh, that's very true. But I have a couple of about 10 items in my book in one chapter in which I said, how do you tell whether you are really in love with this person? And there's a list for how
Yeah,
do I know
be
if that person loves me? And there's a list for the men.
those are excellent things. Excellent things. I'd love to hear those lists.
Well, I think I'm out of time, but maybe I can go on
Oh,
and
really?
continue with
Okay.
this
Oh,
next
yeah,
week.
yeah.
Would you be willing to come back and we'll get a little bit
I
further
I'm
into
sorry, I can't. Ordinarily, my Tuesday is a day for me to be at my
okay.
secular job, driving
Okay.
cars for the auto auction.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I had to give up a day of work today to be here on the broadcast. So
Oh, well,
ordinarily I won't.
thank you.
Maybe from time to time I'll be able to take that extra
Okay.
day
All
and
right.
arrange to be with you.
I would
But
love it. Thank you. I had a little trouble with
yeah,
my microphones here. So, but yes, thank you for
yeah.
coming.
Well,
And I'm thanking the
thank
audience
you.
for being there listening to us and come back again um, sometime for next week. And I will give this list on how you can tell if you are in love and whether that person loves you or not. Thank you again for being here. I look forward to
Thanks,
seeing
Shelby.
you. And thank you, Carl. I really appreciate your being here today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. And we'll see. Let's see. I guess that's it. Oh dear, Rebel, are you there?